least have strengths that have to be feared, like the bot lane 2v2, and seeing if it here starts with draft. We're already seeing all the priority picks taken off the table. I think Tristana needs to be banned. I am a bit surprised banning it away on blue side, because again, I feel like that OMG LGD series shows it is just such a good first pick champion on blue side. It's versatile, it's a flex pick, and they're just going to keep rounding it out. The one I want to keep my eye on is the Poppy, because it's another one that is specifically with the champions coming into this patch has just looked so strong.
Yeah, certainly, I would say it's still situational, right? But I feel like those situations are so common in the current meta that it becomes less and less situational the longer we go on. Blitzcrank being banned away from Chocho, which Chocho's actually not played a single game of Blitzcrank across the course of this split, but obviously Weibo just not wanting to go up against that one. I am curious if we do get a bit of rel-based action today. Obviously, we saw it in the first series. I'd love to see it again here for the second series. But Milio, take it off the board.
Yeah, so now we're taking a look at certain things like the Jace still being available. We have seen a little bit of that come through still on this patch and being able to set up for other things. But no, wanting to go straight towards the Annie. Annie's been hit or miss to come on to 13-12, where some series it has been outright ignored through picks and bans. And then we still had series earlier where, we still saw it end in first rotation. But FPX now can be able to respond with a pretty nice top side with the Cassante coming through. And now I wonder if it's looking towards AD carry, right? Things like the FLO still incredibly high priority. Kaisa, another one that you mentioned earlier, had already come into the meta, but has only received buffs. And when I think of LWX, I think of champions like Kaisa as where he's always loved to shine.
All right, we'll see what LWX is going to go for. Apologies if my mic has been distorting everyone at home. Trying to fix it as we speak. But Hacker going to go for that Maokai. Now, one thing I will say, not usually the champion that you flash over the back of Dragon Pit with, so could be a little sad to see on this side of Hacker. But Weiwei goes to the Wukong and instantly Renekton locked in for the Shy.
Yeah, so Weibo kind of setting up with the composition, very good at finding these engages. You're going to need to see the Shy come off on flanks. I feel like for FPX, with the fact that you do have the Maokai, you're kind of already set up to where you can start building a comp around like playing with range, disengage. Sure, Cassante's role in it would be a little bit awkward, but no, they bring out the Kiana that you wanted, and they want to match punch for punch.
This is what I wanted to see. This is what I was asking for before the draft ever started. And even I didn't believe it when I was saying it. You know, but Care is going to go for it. I absolutely love watching this. Like, Care's Kiana is pretty damn clean as well. It's such an exciting champion to watch anyway. And especially when you look at the composition from Weibo, they kind of want to get up close and brawl. Well, that's kind of Kiana's speciality.
Yeah, now I really wonder where we're going to go with AD carries, because I feel like it opens up even more for something like a Kaisa to come out, because for FPX, I think it would be nice to get a little bit more magic damage under your belt rather than just solely relying on that Maokai. And we've been seeing, especially with builds these days, a lot of Kaisas just heavily indexing towards that AP build. So we're going to see if Weibo do ban it out here, as the two engaged supports we were kind of gushing over before picks and bans already both taken off the table. Looks like we're not going to get the fun that we wanted, at least in that lane.
All right, Lulu versus Yumi it is. Well,
please don't.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't get too excited in advance here. But Nautilus taken off the board as well. I mean, Blitzcrank was already pre-banned. Like, we are running out of engaged supports in-game. Alistair could come out maybe.
Well, it's also one of those things, right, where a lot of like your AD carry matchup kind of depends on, like, the AD carry that you pick is going to depend on like what duos or pairs you can get in that support role. So now with the Aphelios coming on through, they can still be flexible, right? We can see them default back to an Enchanter, even though they have taken some hits. Thresh is still there if they did just want to opt into like something they know that works. Brings the Lantern, right? So still definitely having some options there, but now it's about Weibo and where they want to respond. With the fact that so many things with the Kaisa that pair well are gone, I think it makes a lot more sense to kind of go a different route. They are just going to end up bringing back the Jinx, something that has really fallen off since some of the nerfs that we've seen fall through to her. And now Chris going to be the first one to show, and it opens up for them to take away the potential Thresh that I talked about. If they go for the Lulu here, they are very reliant in my mind on finding picks and playing around Weiwei, playing around Xiaohu because they aren't going to have like too many different ways to actually actively start up a fight.
Well, the Lulu's going to be locked in for Crisp here. The Enchanter comes through in the end. I'm not going to talk about the Rumble Hover here. I would love to see the Leona. We've seen a ton of Leona. Oh, I see a ton. We've seen sprinklings of Leona across the world over the last few days. It does seem to be cropping up a little bit.
You did this to us if this happens. You did this to us if it happens.
No, I didn't. They did this when they banned Rakan, and they banned Rel, and they banned Nautilus, and they banned all the fun supports.
You know, we were so excited. We were so excited that we'd escaped this. At least we have the Kiana, right? We have Kiana coming out mid lane for care. We're going to look at the bright side. And, I mean, you kind of hit on it, right? Both teams having some proactive tools to play around. I think FPX definitely bringing more to the table. Yuumi going to be on top of someone like Care, Shallow, who run them down with that ulti. Supreme display of talent. Going to be able to come through. The ultimate from Hacker in general. Weibo, like I said, I feel like they need to play a bit more around picks, especially with Xiaohu in the mid lane. They still have some team fighting options, right? Like, they have a solid front line. It's just, are they going to be able to start up fights on their own terms without finding that initial pick? That's something that Weibo are going to have to show us.
That'll be the question. They do have that range advantage with the Jinx, so later on that can be devastating. The question is, how does Care play out this one? Because I feel like, you know, Annie, Wukong, not necessarily great targets for the Kiana. Annie can be if you catch her out of position, but the stun can just make it so difficult. And then when you've got a Lulu with the enemy AD carry, it can be very difficult to find your target. So Care, I feel like this is going to be a difficult one to pilot.
Yeah, you're right. There's no like great target. A lot of time you're going to have to be the follow-up. You're going to have to rely on people like Xiaolao and Hacker to set it up and then strike right at that perfect moment to take someone like Light down. If not, Annie stun, Renekton stun, so many things going to be able to focus him out. So Care, you picked the champion that Munch wanted. You've won your one game on it. You were 100% win rate this split. Now you have to be able to do it again against the top team that a lot of people see vying for one of those spots at Worlds.
Yeah, I'm here for it. 100% win rate on the Kiana. Let's see if he can keep those stats going. 4-1-4 last time he played it. It's wait. Starting on a ward. Potential for FPX to try and make some kind of cheeky play, but it's difficult to close the gap in the river, so I don't think they'll be able to find anything. And here we go, Lyric. I'm excited to see what Weibo bring to the table here. Is Xiaohu going to walk towards Care? Does take a little bit of damage. Care not actually having his Q just yet, so
this might be a 5v5.
Win this one? Are we actually just going to scrap here? Weiwei's the target for now as Ultimate comes in. Weiwei flashes over the wall. And that's it. One summoner? Everyone was here. How is there only one summoner?
Light was the only one who hadn't completely made it, but even he was pretty close by. I love that. Both teams just run into each other in the mid lane, and they want a full send. We knew these comps, especially the top sides, kind of spell out full send, but I definitely didn't expect it from the level 1 mark. Being without Flash, you know, Weiwei won't be able to follow up or have as potent of ganks as he wanted, but at least it's not the same as like a laner losing Flash and then you being under more threat from ganks from the enemy jungler.
Yeah. Feels like, you know, Wukong Flash, not necessarily the most valuable, right? There's not that many situations where you're trying to early gank as Wukong anyway, so should be okay with that one. You can see him pathing down towards the bottom side here. We've seen his top quadrant as of right now. But Light and Crisp, you'd imagine, will get prio in the bottom side and be able to crash that third wave. So should be able to get the Scuttle Crab for Weiwei.
And I think that's one thing that's just kind of across the board for Weibo's comp. This is the priority that it brings. We know Annie's going to be able to win on the 1v1 against the Kiana. You have range advantage at level 1. But even 3, which is where Kiana comes online, and, you know, you start having the full combo available to get off a lot of those good trades. I mean, it's going to be about how Xiaohu plays around that stun. He should be able to maintain prio. Bot will be the same. You have a Renekton in top side. So Weiwei's going to have a lot of freedom with how he wants to play out this early game. And they should be able to force a lot of the early action, especially around mid, around top, that they want to look for.
You see, third wave was crashed. Light and Crisp not going to go for an early recall or anything like that. Just going to keep trying to pressure in this bottom side as a bit of a CS lead already starting to build up in favor of Light off the early laning phases. Hacker headed up towards the top side, and I feel like we do have to keep an eye on that Maokai, right? Because A, it's Hacker anyway. The guy loves to get in those lanes. But B, it's Xiaolahu versus the Shy. The Chinese side gave us that graphic of these two top laners going at it, right? Like, inevitably you expect them to be aggressive. Wouldn't surprise me if Hacker tries to get involved in that lane.
No, especially because right, Hacker is one of those players who likes to try and find those avenues, with the Shy being pushed up, and the Shy usually being known to not be thinking about the gank at all times. We might even just see it here.
Yep, Shala, who has the Q3, if he can find it onto the Shy, Hacker moving forwards, gets the root with the dash. Well buffered by the Shy to dodge the Q3. Doesn't even have to use flash.
Yeah, great play coming out from him, and right, it's those small mechanical moments like that, which is why still to this day in interviews, so many of the other top laners in the LPL kind of rave about laning against the Shy and how difficult it is and how much they still do respect this player. But we kind of expected this Weibo, despite the fact that not much action should be able to happen around the bot side. Weiwei still keeping up that strong bot side prio, but Hacker looking for... I guess he was looking for something, but not going to be able to find it.
Weiwei snuck through the enemy jungle here to get towards Care. Hacker's in the mid lane as well. That's a flash. Honestly, you take that from Weibo. You just clone on out from Weiwei. And look at the wave as well. This is really rough for Care. Weiwei's just going to keep on wailing on him.
It's even worse when you consider the type of champion that Qiyana is, and like her trade patterns to win trades, right? She needs to all in. She needs to put herself in harm's way to be able to come out ahead. And now that you don't have flash, it's going to be so awkward. Xiaohu going to be able to get that stun up, bring Weiwei in. His flash is almost back too, so I feel like we need to see Weibo actually take advantage of the play that they just found.
Yeah, honestly, I can't believe, like, just watching that as well. I felt like Hacker was just a spectator in that play. He was just watching what was happening, had no way to actually participate. Just watches his mid laner have their flash burn. Now you see massive CS lead in that mid lane. I don't think that's going to get any better. It's Light and Crisp now getting a plate at the bottom side. It feels like everything is just a hunky-dory across the map for Weibo.
Well, and that's why when we saw things like the early Maokai come out in draft and how Weibo set up their top side, I thought maybe FPX would have been the team that would have indexed heavier into like playing with the range, right? We talked about things like the Jace that were left open, or hell, even they, the second rotation, once all the supports got banned, could have opted towards the Nukes themselves. Now, with the fact that they're already being set behind a little bit with some of these ganks, if Weibo, LWX.
LWX in trouble, but looks like he will get away with his life for now. Chocho does not want this fight to end. Just going solo cat, trying to find the trace, trying to defend his wards. Cares moving over. This is a level 5 Qiyana, so no ultimate available. The Light could be in trouble. Summoners still here, and a cleanse immediately dropped as Care just about leaps over the Flame Chompers in time.
And it's great that they do find the Summoner right now, potential like possibilities to be able to take down Light. But look at how much Care is going to be losing out in terms of CS now in mid. We'll be able to get back and at least catch the waves that Xiaohu is building back up, because that one was pushed in. But if you're not going to be able to convert those roams into anything, Care's going to quickly find himself not really having much impact.
Yeah. We'll have to see how these early neutral objectives are going to go as well, because despite the fact that they have prio basically in all 3 lanes for the side of Weibo, they typically don't lean towards things like Drakes or the Heralds. They are 13th in the league for first Drake percent. In fact, no, sorry. They're 13th in the league for first Herald percent. They're 17th in the league for first Drake percent. They are changing their style here today. Actually going for an early Drake. Unless Hacker has something to say about it. Jumping on in. The combo is there. Can they finish the job, though? Drake taken down by Weibo. The shurikens are there, but Hacker has been abandoned. All the laners just leave.
Yeah, I mean, Supreme Display of Talent connects, but no one really able to follow up on it and actually get inside. Weibo secure the objective. They find the kills, and they're just going to keep vibing with the way the situation has been. FPX not able to string anything together just yet.
Not just yet. Let's take another look at how that... Because it looked so good for FPX to start off with. It felt like a play for them with Xiaohu just getting absolutely comboed, but...
Oh, and
gets the damage.
Yeah, and then gets knocked back over the wall by Hacker. LWX and Chocho still not here, and a lot of their damage in moments in the burst are going to be like combos coming out, right? It'll be like Supreme Display of Talent with the Maokai ultimate, with Moonlight Vigil thrown out on top. But with really only having the supreme display of talent and Aphelios not being there to also help bring down Xiaohu, it just made it so easy for Weibo's full United Force to turn and then commit their combined burst onto one target like Hacker themselves.
So Hacker goes down. First blood for Weibo, which another stat I was going to talk about before that all kicked off is actually their first blood percentage. Also 17th in the league. This is a team that is not known for dominating the early game, changing all of the rules here against FPX or Weibo. But certainly when it comes to later on in the game, that's when the stats start to pick up. But so far so good for Weibo is they're going to get that first strike. They're going to get their Herald as well. They're going to get first blood for themselves. Suddenly everything working out, and the one thing they do well in the early game is first tower. They are best in the league.
Yes.
It's 70% of their games. So with the Herald in pocket as well, I feel like they're guaranteed to turn that.
I kind of love that you bring all this up to kind of give context and explain how Weibo like to play. Weibo were really the first team that brought out the static shift LeBlanc in the LPL. I've seen it done in other regions like LEC because LPL were quite slow getting on top of it. But they were giving up every dragon and every herald to just constantly cross map, steal away camps, like get CS advantages, take turrets, and it was very reminiscent to 2021 RNG, and it looked like what you would expect a Xiaohu team to look like, and they played it honestly flawlessly, just constantly building up their gold lead without getting any of these objectives in the river. So I think it's a style that fits Weibo really well. We're obviously not seeing them go with that type of draft in this game, but they clearly kind of bring that philosophy through into a lot of their matches.
Yeah, and it's great to see as well because not many teams around the world play that way. Like,
no.
I feel like this year, that kind of League of Legends just has not been present in the pro scene. It's good to see a team that is still willing to play side lanes, and especially when you've got solo laners of such insane level like Xiaohu and the Shy, both of them like in conversations of greatest of all time in their roles, right? Like when you've got people that have built those reputations off of side laning, like it makes sense to play side lanes.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And hell, you wouldn't even think back to that old, Xiaohu top RNG iteration. Even when teams were trying to replicate it, no one did it as well as he was able to make it work. But now coming into this game, right, funnily enough, FPX have been able to keep even in gold despite the large deficit that they found in the mid lane. A lot of that coming down to plates in bot lane. But now first items starting to come out, especially with Light, getting that back off and having Kraken Slayer in pocket.
Shy needs to get out of dodge here, as we saw Xiaohu head back to base, TP back in on the wave, and you'd see massive item advantage off the back of that reset. The Shy, I don't know when the last time he was, the last time he went back was, but it feels like a long old time ago because he's only on those boots. But no TP available, so holding on for the time being.
Yeah, so now FPX, right, they have the Thornmail that you just hit on, now picking up a Kraken Slayer of their own, so going to show that they are holding even, and Light needs to be careful with Chris being so far away, will manage to escape. And it's so weird seeing Weibo play this kind of like objective game after you pointing out that they haven't, because it just seems like they're kind of fine biding their time until the next dragon comes up in 30 seconds.
Yeah, doesn't feel like the way that Weibo have been played across the course of this split. But then at the end of the day, a lot of people have been quite critical of Weibo so far this split because they haven't been a consistent team. They haven't been the team that's 2-0ing everyone, like they've quite often gone to 3 games. They've quite often like been quite messy in those games as well. So, maybe changing the style to try and replicate what teams like JDG are doing to try and shore up some of those weaknesses that we have seen across the course of the split. Herald down in the mid lane. Hacker wants to threaten, but Xiaohu can't quite get close enough to the tower, so we'll just be gold over to Weiwei.
Yeah, and I also liked it on the minimap. Eldivis and Chocho were constantly hanging out in that tribe rush and not allowing for like Light or Chris to walk up. They had a quicker avenue to move towards the mid, had any action broken out. And now, even with delaying these resets, this should open up this Drake for the side of FPX.
Yeah, absolutely should. Now LWX doing a really good job to try and punish in the bottom side. Honestly, I'm surprised he didn't like all in earlier on when we saw him walk into the lane alongside Chocho. Light was kind of overextended a little bit. I thought they'd go a little bit deeper, but I didn't know where Weiwei was on the map at the time. But here we go.
Xiaohu.
Suddenly the counter play is in. The rocket comes on through an LWX. It's a valiant attempt on the return damage, but just overstepping. and that's going to be 2 kills into the pocket of Light.
They don't even need Xiaohu's TP to come through with how much damage they're able to bring to the table. Weiwei, of course, did just finish off his Divine Sunderer. Luckily for FPX, they managed to pick up that Drake before the play came through. But now 2-0-1 on the Jinx, who is going to be your main carry. Not feeling too good. As we're going to get to see a replay of what happens here. And right, FPX's bot lane, they've already kept them chunked out. They wanted to keep them in this lane, which is why they do overstay so long. But it gives a window, gives time for Weiwei to get in here, find that Cyclone. The ult comes out from the Lulu as well to get even more CC involved. And now we'll see if FPX have a response on top side. Shy does have ult and flash.
Doesn't look like they're going to commit to this one. That said, the Shy is running at them, so maybe they will. As here we go, all out. Dominus to answer. Flash away from the root. And well, it ends as quickly as it began.
And we can see it's actually Weibo being the team to adjust around this. Light now sitting in mid lane. Xiaohu's been brought down to bot. So already trying to get first set up around top side for the Herald that's about to spawn in 40 seconds. Gonna see if Xiaohu's ever gonna find a timing to even get the base off that he wants.
Hacker's here as well as Chocho. There is a cat on his shoulder, but the Shy never afraid, never willing to back away. Even with 4 people on his side of the map, he's still going to stand aggressively. He's still going to threaten damage underneath the tower. The man just never, ever retreats. And I think that's why we all love him so much, isn't it? As Light trying to contest the vision that Hacker is trying to clear away. Herald spawning in 4 seconds and Hacker already chunked.
Yeah, and Xiaohu even just used TP back to top lane, right? Didn't do anything like walk back down to bot, try and get pressure and save that TP for later. TPing straight away to top signals that they wanted to go for this objective, but with that chunk, we'll see if FPX still commit. It feels like it'd be a complete waste of TP if they don't go for it, but they just have no pressure avenue into this river just yet.
It feels really hard for FPX to start a fight outside of just Hacker ulting and they hope that the rest of the team can follow up, you know, unless Care can find a flank. But Xiaohu, oh, Tib is flashed away from by Hacker. And here we go, Care with the 3-man ulti. And the follow-up is beautiful from FPX. Herald now taken. And Weiwei next on the chopping block. Realizes he's going down. Commits to the play with a Cyclone. Looks for a bit of damage, but goes down anyway. And suddenly FPX are on the board.
FPX not only win the fight, they also got the Herald for themselves. LWX picking that one up. So you're able to further this gold, I guess not gold lead, but going to be able to try and find a gold lead for themselves. Just going to outright drop this one towards mid lane. Light and Crisp not too far away, so we'll see if they actually manage to push down this turret.
Fantastic stuff coming out from FPX. Care had just finished Duskblade, so really huge spike from him as Light goes for a 2v1 here. Flame Chomper's not enough. Zap dodged. The rocket is available. Is he willing to punt it? Gets rid of the minions, so he's not on vision. Does he go for it? Rocket gonna come out. Trying to predict the recall. I
get it.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
I'm not sure where he thought he was recalling.
You know, thinking like it'd be too obvious to just do it in lane right there, and he's gonna try and mind game him, but ends up mind gaming himself. We'll see here. Care, I love the decisiveness. Checks his brush. We see Sweeper come out. Tibbers doesn't land. That feels like a critical mistake from Xiaohu that allows for this play to come through. Light gets the cleanse off, but 2 members going down. We see the combo we hit on earlier, right? You need supreme display of talent into the Moonlight Vigil. These like massive burst combos to come through. And then sadly, once the Annie Lulu go down and Light has to retreat because the team is split, you have no avenue of entering. So Xiaohu really going to be kicking himself after that Tibbers not connecting.
First items now finished across the board. Chocho even getting that battle song. Whereas Weibo still a little behind in that front. Care has been found. Turns invisible for a second here as Weiwei using that sweeper, but the stun's going to come on through, and there's one for Weibo. Xiaohu here alongside Weiwei, who's buying time with the Cyclone, and LWX will be the next target, but the sustain is going to come on through, and the TP was cancelled, and so FPX come out on top.
I mean, we see it ends up being a 1-for-1 at the end of the day, but still, I'm quite surprised to see Weibo even try to go for those plays without their AD carry. They do manage to pick up a turret, but you'd expect LWX to be able to answer the one in bot side.
So 1-for-1, Drake spawning as well. And it'll be an Ocean Soul, which not necessarily the most powerful soul anymore, but still well worth playing around. As Light will have Prio in this mid lane. And I've got to say, even though he's on 1.5 items, this Jinx is feeling scary, but LWX happy to shred through this one with the red and white weapons. Attempt number 2 with the rockets here from Light. It goes in. Oh, so close. The timing was right, but nobody stood underneath the Drake.
It's actually crazy how, like, identical situations we're in, right? Gold, exactly even. Your 80 carries, the ones that have been funneled the gold, funneled the kills, sitting on 1.5 items apiece. As we're going to see the replay here. Xiaohu, I mean, they want to find Care, right? Already knowing that he has no flash from the play before. They get him out, but I feel like the biggest problem is look at the minimap. You saw people like Light coming back from lane. The Shy, his TP, gonna end up getting canceled by Xiaohu, so that one's so incredibly clutch. And then with LWX, you just have more DPS to come out to be able to take down Xiaohu. Wei considering himself lucky that he managed to escape.
Yeah, Gale Force now finished for LWX as well, so if that Aphelios wasn't scary yet, certainly is now. Like you say, 4-4. And, you know, we came into this series saying, look, JDG just absolutely slammed that IP. This is what a top team versus mid-table team looks like. What have you got, Weibo? And, well, FPX have pretty much answered everything Weibo bringing to the table. I'm loving the combination of the Maokai with Care's Kiana. Felt like that CC chain is terrifying.
And right, such like so much amount of space to where you can start the engage. Obviously, Maokai goes a long distance. When you have the flash up for Care, we saw him being able to just jump across the river in that last play. So it definitely feels like you do have a lot of options. The problem is that you're very cooldown reliant, and you need those ultimates to get the exact play that you want. So Weibo gonna have to be incredibly conscious about those ones going forward. And now with Baron coming up in 10 seconds, we know it's gonna be all about the vision game and topside rivers, seeing which team can push their vision line deeper and really start to put some threat on this Baron buff.
See who's gonna be able to do it. The Shy and Xiaohu both in the bottom side, but Xiaohu actually has teleport available right now. Remember, managed to cancel the Shy's TP. There's a sapling gonna spot the players as ultimates popped in the bottom side, and LWX is here as well, but the Shy just jumps on top of him and turns him to pieces. The Shy is an absolute monster in the 2v1.
What a huge play coming out from the Shy. How does this man do it?
Doesn't even
and now
blink.
we can see Weibo feeling so confident to go for this Baron.
Xiaohu won't whiff the Tibbers this time. Falling once, shame on you. Surely not twice though, as Care tries to move in. Ward cleared at the back of the pit. Hacker is here with flash available, but Care's been found. The Tibbers is in. He's invincible for now as the Shy behind enemy lines, but denied by the ultimate of Care, and Weibo won't get the Baron.
Sadly, won't be able to get the objective, but hey, at least they forced out flash from Care and the Supreme Display of Talent as long as Hacker's ulti. Because you said, right, Weibo's windows are going to be a lot around those cooldowns being up. So I'm curious if Weibo forced in aggressive plays. We're going to get to see exactly how the Shy plays this one out. Kind of dancing with Xiaohu at first with the all-out coming through as well as the Dominus. But I just don't know how LWX doesn't have enough damage to take him down. Flash into the Empowered W. We don't get the replay because another Baron attempt, Munch.
Yeah, FPX this time trying to do it. The rocket goes wide again. So close. The timing's perfect, but the Shy onto LWX once more. The stun comes in as here comes Light to try and carry this one, but the Shy's already down. They have to find something. Xiaohu misses the Q3. A great flash from Light to dodge it. But they can't find anything. Weibo can't find a way into the fight.
And what, you know, that replay would have been sick, but also what a tragic timing to see how this happened, right? FPX, of course, would be coming out from base first. With the fact that Weibo had stayed, members of FPX had died. We're going to get to see here exactly how this one went down. Rocket immediately misses the Shy, trying to get on top of LWX, but that exhaust, this time around being so crucial to make sure that the damage is able to come through. Sure, he buys a bit of time by going golden, but no one else on the side of Weibo even close to being able to follow up.
Yeah, great little Gale Force there from Light to dodge the Q3. That would have been curtains for him. This Care now wants to try and contest this red buff. Will be taken though. And Kiana is so annoying to deal with in these situations when she can fight for vision control. You already can never see her because of, you know, the Q with the brushes, the stealth. I don't really know what all the combos are called necessarily, but Prowler's Claw now finished as well. Care is going to be an absolute thorn in the side of Weibo. And
we said it, right? Weibo going to 3 games in half of their series, 4-4. 3 of them are in the series they've lost to other top teams. They've only been pushed to 3 games against a team lower than them in the standings once, and that was against RA. But it's looking like FPX should be able to make this happen.
Hang on a second. That implies that Weibo's going to win a game in this series. Could be a 2-0. Could be a 2-0. FPX certainly looking good at game number 1. I'm, of course, joking. They are still the favorite, but 3 Drakes now picked up for FPX. And a bit of a gold lead. It's not much, but it is a gold lead nonetheless. Xiaolahu just tanking up light for the time being, as there goes Xiaohu's health bar. Care just finds him. Flash comes on through. Moonlight Vigil. It's enough. The proc on Crisp finishes Xiaohu. And now onto the chase. Hacker on the front line looking for the roots, and he'll find it. But in they go onto LWX's Weiwei. On his lonesome, though. Can't actually finish the kill off. The Shy in the meantime onto Hacker here. Trying to do the job. Trying to finish the damage. Look how much he's doing to the whole squad. But there's no support. There's no help.
No, I mean, Light having to deal with Shallow, who he's not going to feel comfortable just walking right past the Giant Cassante. And with all of that, with members of Weibo kind of funneling one by one into LWX, you have the peel from the Maokai and the Yuumi. It just set up for the exact type of fight that FPX want. And it kind of came out of us talking about draft. It felt like they had more tools, not only to force fights that they want with things like, you know, Yuumi, Maokai, Kiana, and Cassante, but also having some tools to be able to kite back and play around their AD carry. The range not really doing much for the Jinx when Cassante doing such a good job to zone her out. It's going to all start off with Xiaohu, though, getting caught out by Care. Moonlight Vigil able to follow up. That gives them a numbers advantage, and then they want to run Weibo down. So we're going to see Hacker be the one to first start off and engage. But again, I want to stop focus on that members of Weibo just kind of keep jumping in one by one onto LWX, where you have both Care, Chocho peeling for him now. Hacker now gets involved. One taken down, the next gonna go down, and the whole time Light is just trying to bring down this big frontline Xiaolahu, and the setup for the fight was just perfect for FPX.
Now half an item ahead for LWX as well. He's got a Bloodthirster in case he wasn't hard to kill before. Certainly will be now. Phantom there, red and white available actually as well. Should anything kick off in the next couple of minutes, but I think he'll have to just cycle away from those weapons, to be honest, as won't be able to just maintain it forever. Won't be able to use it to try and siege down some towers, though. Baron no longer on the cards, and I do feel like maybe that's where this composition starts to fall short for the side of FPX. Like, sieging without Baron, with a composition as short range as this, it's basically impossible.
Yeah, exactly. I love that you point that out, right? Gonna need Baron, gonna rely on things like the fact that you're on Soul Point to at least bait Weibo out of their base and pull them into river so you can find a fight. But it's really gonna rely on things like that. If Weibo opt into playing a more like defensive style of game, just try and get defensive wards around the outer skirts of your jungle, group up as a team to get wave prio before walking into your own jungle. It's really gonna be about how good FPX can bait around these neutrals.
We'll see what they can do, how they're going to be able to pull this one off. 8-6 on the scoreboard. And look, I'm just excited that we've got FPX with a 3K lead against Weibo here. We've got a pretty exciting game number 1 in the series as well. We've got Care bringing out the Kiana. This is the treat that we were all hoping for. We said earlier that the meta is finally getting more exciting, and I feel like this game is a testament to that so far. Weibo, though, you can never quite count this team out. I feel like Xiaohu, it's had a pretty rough game so far, but, you know, Annie, 2 items now. Any single Tibbus could still change the face of the game.
I really could, right? If LWX just oversteps a little bit, but Light and the Shy would have to be there, would have to be the big damaging force. That helps take him down. Light, 3 items now, is on a pretty strong point for himself, so shouldn't have too much trouble dealing with frontline. But the problem is, you know, the exact fight that we saw before, it's that Weibo are going to have to find a position to where they can kind of encircle FPX and send Xiaohu, send the Shy, all jumping on top of LWX at once. But now that they're behind, they should never be able to find that positioning.
LWX is stepped too far forwards. Light just got to free fire for a bit. Weiwei could be the target instead, though. The Cyclone, the last proc hits him as he goes down in the end. It looked so good for Weibo. It looked like they found their pick as Light goes wide on the rocket again. FPX, they're just indomitable and now playing in the brush. Oh, the Shy with a sweeper spots it. Still going to take a hefty chunk, though.
Munch, right as I was saying, Weibo shouldn't be able to fight it from the position. LWX almost gave it to them for free, and now we're seeing Light's range advantage paying off dividends. This might just lead to them being able to pick up the Drake and deny Soul.
Which is kind of insane considering they lost their jungler.
Yeah.
They should not be finding advantages off of this fight. But managing to do so. Control of the bottom river for now as Hacker starts to move in. 10 seconds on that Drake. And Xiaohu flashes for the stun. Cleanse immediately from LWX. And once again, the fight for mid prio. This time FPX win it out.
Yeah, and like you said, that numbers disadvantage, not going to allow them to get in river to deny this one. But Weibo not giving up on trying to find the picks that they need. Light at least going to patch those damage numbers.
TP. Actually, that's a double TP from the solo laners here as Care trying to threaten on the bottom side of the play. Weibo on the wrong side of the rift, and Soul's already taken the battle song to try and retreat, but they're already in too deep on this one, I fear. The root's going to come across the team as Weiwei's looking for the flank. The Shy on the front line. We know he's comfortable here. Dives into the mix as they desperately try and get onto LWX, but he's just completely safe. He's completely fine in the backside. Xiaohu is 1v3ing in the meantime, and Light will go down. Xiaohu massacring Weibo as LWX is untouched.
Weibo not able to take down FPX. Great kiting back from people like LWX. Good ulties, Hacker, Care to start things off. And now going to be able to start pushing through the base. 30-second death timers on the Shy and Light. They should be able to find it.
I think that is going to be game. I think that is going to be game one going the way of FPX. Crisp and Xiaohu, what do you got in the tank? How can you hold on to this one? Because FPX are here to play. Crisp against his old team, against his bot lane partner from the World Championship, and LWX is winning this one out on top. And fitting that LWX was the main part of the story here for FPX as he takes down Crisp. Phenomenal game here.
Weibo have not been 2-0'd once this split. And it would be insane if, like you're saying, it's done by FPX, it's done by LWX against his long-time support that he won Worlds with. Great performance by them. Things looked dicey early. Like, it looked